can fix that at least. It's not going to be perfect, but I'm not too worried about it. All right. Let's see where we're at. Spoiler free. Yeah. Definitely. Although I played it before, so... Right, music rating. The Dragon Quest games, the music's relatively similar. It doesn't change a whole lot, honestly. It's nothing incredible. It's just kind of like relaxing and things like that. They use a lot of the same themes between the games. I like the battle theme and stuff in this one, and the boss theme is okay, but the music isn't like my favorite aspect of these games. It's just there. It's just old school, comfortable JRPG music. Why does it seem like these tracks are like cutting out before they finish? Okay. But yeah, either way, I'm gonna give it about a 6 or a 7. I think I'm gonna go with a 6. I've heard lots of renditions of this music that gets redone and orchestrated, and most of the time I like the orchestrated versions of this stuff more than what's in the actual games themselves. But the music's comfortable overall. It's just... yeah, it's just nice, relaxing music. It kind of fits some of the areas and stuff, but the thing about it is there's not a whole lot of it, you know? You go from one dungeon to the other, and you're hearing a lot of the same tracks over and over again, and repetition is never really all that interesting to me, even if a song's really good. So the graphics for the era. This one's a little bit difficult, because I like the pixel art, but I wasn't a huge fan of the rotating camera angles. I don't like having to rotate constantly to figure out where I'm going, what I'm doing, and everything like that. But there were some like really cool aspects that were done with the 3D. There was this one pyramid where I'm going across a bridge where there's this huge lake under it, and you've got this unique 3D perspective that you get to see the lake under you, and you can rotate the camera angles and stuff like that, and they had this like abstract look of like being really far away from it and stuff like that. So some of the times I thought it was really well done. I thought it was pretty cool. But it still left something to be desired sometimes too. Again, half the puzzles are just like changing the camera angle, or half the items that you can find were just changing the camera angle a little bit and going from there. And that's not that interesting to me. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 7 though. I think it was slightly above what the SNES version was, and I gave the SNES version around a 7 or so, or the SNES Dragon Quest 6 around that. It was just a slight upgrade from that. Not anything really substantial, but definitely a unique perspective for the game for the first time. The story rating. I like the story in this game. I know everyone kind of says that it's just kind of like a fetch quest type thing where you don't have this big overarching story or anything like that, but I like the aspect of these little... every time you go to a different world, it's like its own separate story, but then like all these stories are interconnected in the future and things like that, and the things that you've done have an impact on people. I just think that overall it's interesting, and it's fun for me to go through and solve these little puzzles in these towns and figure things out. I like that. It's a bunch of kids going on an adventure. It's very simplistic, but I enjoy that. If the game was shorter, it'd be a lot more appealing to people. If we were pushing maybe like 30, 40 hours and not pushing close to 100 most of the time for people completing it, I'm sure a lot more people would stick with it. But it kind of turns into a lot of doing the same things after a while, where, okay, I got a shard, I'm gonna finish this area, I solve this area, okay, now I gotta go to this island in the future, and I get the rest of the shards that then allow me to go through the rest of the game. With a few exceptions here and there of having to backtrack to other areas and get other things. But I still liked the Chrono Trigger-esque ability to see how the world changed based on things that we did in the past and things getting solved in the future. I like that aspect. But so I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 7. I think it was better than Dragon Quest 6, but it's still not the most amazing thing in existence or anything like that. It doesn't really do anything special, but it's definitely just a comfortable game to play. Mechanics rating. So this is just like any other Dragon Quest game, essentially. I mean, it's nothing special in that regard. The you don't get the classes until way, 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 way late in the game. And that's kind of annoying because you could be getting so many of them early and learning new abilities, and it would make the combat earlier fun. And the combat hasn't changed from one game to the other, really. The class system's not exactly explained very well either. The fact that you're going to carry those abilities over is explained, but what you have to do you have to max classes to get the next set of classes, or what 2 classes you have to master to do all this type of stuff and things like that. So it leads to having you experiment to try and figure everything out, but really sometimes experimenting with everything just isn't fun. It's kind of nice to have an idea or a goal in mind of what you want to do and running with that, and then seeing whether it works out or not. That's my preferred method of things. It's just having a goal, attempting to reach that goal, and going from there. But I still like the classes. I prefer what they did in this one over the 3DS remake, where you lose some of the abilities going from one class to the other. I feel like you can make some really godlike characters in this game, which is what a lot of people like sometimes. So I think that that's a cool option. But again, the mechanics didn't really change from 6 to 7. They were very, very, very similar. And again, I'll consider the rotating camera angles thing as part of the mechanic in this game. I didn't like it, but it was an additional thing that Dragon Quest VI didn't really do. So I'm going to stick with giving it a 6. It's nothing special. It's very just old school classic JRPG goodness, if you want to call it that. Yeah, because Sword Dance, I used it throughout the entire game after I got it. And then after I realized what it did, I got it on 3 of my characters. It definitely is not really good for grinding, but it's amazing for single target bosses. It's amazing. If you could get a damage buff and stuff like that, I could see it being relatively broken. Alright, so grinding. No matter what in a Dragon Quest game, you're going to have to grind. You're going to have to. This one has that added element that 6 had of having to grind battles to not only get experience to level up, but also grind a certain amount of battles to get abilities with the classes and things like that. So there's a lot of grinding. Then you have the casino as well, which is your best method of making money. You can either go with the RNG and save scumming aspect, which would probably save your time if you get lucky and you don't have to keep going through coins and losing stuff and things like that. Or you can do the flip card thing and hope that you get good items and sell them and go from there. That one's relatively easy to do. You can get a little unlucky. But regardless, there's multiple elements of grinding in this game. I had a few grinding sections for sure, at least 4 or 5, I think, throughout this playthrough, and a bunch of casino grind sections as well. So I'm gonna say that there's a bit too much grinding for a lot of people's liking in this game, but it sticks to the classic element of you're still benefiting from everything you do or anything that you put your time into in this game. But in that regard, I'm gonna give that a 4. So overall, I enjoyed this game. I liked it more than I did 6. I might have preferred elements of 6's story a little bit better here and there, but I still think that it was carried out better in this one. So I just think there was a lot of quality of life improvements going from 6 to 7, and they took some risk with this one as well, with the whole rotating camera angles and differences in classes, and only having 3 characters for a significant period of time, and losing characters, not having them in your party the entire game, and everything else. So you really got to mess around with things. And then the fact that there was 5 characters by the end and I could switch between which character I wanted, that was unique as well. Maybe there's other characters in the game that I was unaware of and maybe I could have went back and got Kiefer at some point somehow. I'm really not sure, but I like the fact that that was something that I could do. I really wish that these tracks didn't have like these 30-second buffers in between them of like nothing. It's a very good playlist, by the way. But overall, it's a solid game. It's, again, Dragon Quest games for me, in all truth and honesty, are just games that I can relax and play. It's as simple as that. I think that that's what they do perfectly. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I think that if you like JRPGs and you like the base bare bones of what makes up a JRPG, and you don't go into a game looking for a epic story that's going to have you running around and wanting to play it every second, and you play it for an hour here or there, it can be really enjoyable. And I think that that's just how I enjoy to play the Dragon Quest games. I think that's the way that they're best played. It's the way that I've always played them. There's other games that I'm not going to want to put down and I play constantly. And then there's games like Dragon Quest where I just enjoy it in little pieces, and that's good. And it's fine for me. What am I going to give this overall? It's like, I like this one more than I do Dragon Quest VI for sure. It's about a 6.5 going on a 7 for me, I feel. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 7. And we'll see what you guys think. Let's see here. We got 11 votes. Let me break out the awesome calculator because I don't feel like doing math. Oh, you guys are like actually very, very close to each other with the amount of votes that we got, which was always good to see. All right, you guys gave it like a 7 as well, so it looks like we're in agreement in that regard. Replay this game. Will I replay it? You know, back when I played it the first time, and I spent like 170 or so hours, maybe even more with my dad. I'll have to find my save file. I told myself that, and I've said this with every Dragon Quest game, I feel like once is enough for me for these longer ones. But it was actually nice to, after 17 years, to go back and replay this game, to see little bits and pieces that I remembered, which wasn't very much. And to see how much better I was as I've gotten older to solve the puzzles and things like that, my recollection of areas to go to and to test things and do all that type of stuff, I was actually pretty impressed with myself. I got hung up a few times in the game, but it was never for really, really long periods of time. And I've gotten better just at progressing through games in general. But I'm gonna say that whenever you're pushing 50 to 100 hours of the game, it's just difficult to get into again. This is the type of game I could see myself starting and being like, oh yeah, I'm gonna replay this, but after like 10, 15 hours, dropping it and not actually finishing it. So I'm gonna go ahead and say, nope, not gonna replay it anytime soon. Yeah, card flip theme. Alright, is the 15th of July. Holy shit, it took us an entire month to beat this game. And our end game time was 77 hours, 17 minutes, and 30 seconds. This music wasn't scary. But I appreciate you guys rating that. I'm always interested to see what you think and everything else. It gives me a perspective of people that weren't playing the game and stuff like that, and I think that's pretty important. Okay, but this is the moment I'm sure you've all been waiting for, you know, the last month, hoping to come up. So, for those of you new to the channel, it is raffle time. All you have to do is enter the word raffle. It enters you in the chance to win. If you win, you get to pick the next game that I play. There's a giant list of RPGs. If you're not familiar with it, I highly recommend taking a look. See what you think. I can guarantee you there's something on there that you'd be interested in seeing. So just give yourself a shot. Type in the word raffle. Another thing to explain is if Nightbot gets picked, I'm gonna give you guys a list of 5 games, and you get to pick from those 5 games. Everyone gets to vote on them, much like we did the straw poll there, and whichever one gets the most votes, that'll be the next one that I play. I should get on making that list at some point. I had 5 games back when I introduced this, but since then we've played Nier and we've played Persona 5, which were 2 of the games that I had on that list, so I need to think of 2 other ones. But yeah, again, even if you lurk and stuff like that and you're not here all that often, I highly recommend just giving yourself a chance. Type in the word raffle. You've got just as much of a shot as anyone else here to win. Some people might argue and say that that's not the case, but it absolutely is. Everyone has the equal chance of winning. No one has any more luck than anyone else. Unless it's just their own luck. There have been people that have won multiple times, though. It's definitely the curse of RNG. You just have to type Raffle, Eltanin, yes, if you want to be in. I'll give you guys another minute, and then we'll go ahead and roll it. I think we've been here for a while today as it is, so... Raffle. There have been people that have won multiple times. That is for sure. This is totally Raffle music right now. Who's gonna win? It's all mysterious and interesting. Alright guys, thank you for sticking around. I really appreciate it. Let's get a drum roll. Good luck, everyone. Overhunter. That type in at the last second. That's pretty lucky. You literally typed it in right as I rolled it. I can't remember if you've won one before or not. Yeah, you've won one. You picked the first Saga. You've won before. Why do you say finally? That was interesting, though. I literally saw you type in, and then I pressed it, and you won. That's weird. We can test it. We can see if someone types it in and see if it happens. It could be a problem with the Nightbot command. I don't know. I would think that it's just as random as any other time. All right, Overhunter. What are you picking, man? I can do a test reroll, sure. Only one person type Raffle, and I will roll it again and see what happens. See if it immediately picks that person. Just for test's sake. Okay. Nope. see, it's fair. It's completely fair. That was just a random chance of happening. Sorry, Zordon, if I got your hopes up or anything. We were just testing. Alright, keep in mind that you got 15 minutes, Overhunter, to pick a game. It is fair. Well, I always worry because it's not like I coded this myself, so I don't know exactly how it works, or, well, I know how it works based on, it takes all the names, it basically puts them in a hat and picks a game, it picks a name. But I always fear that there might be flaws or something like that in it, especially when I see people win multiple times in a row. Or not in a row, but in general. Tales of Grace. Is it Tales of Grace's F? Yes. Tales of Grace's F. I haven't done anything like that yet. I could set something like that up, just a separate tab, and I would just have to update both of them. But that would be hard to do because some of them have the same rating, so it wouldn't do that. I'd have to, go back through and stuff like that. Yeah, we had Tales of Fantasia and Tales of the Abyss so far, so Tales of Grace's F would be the third one that we've played. Alright then, so next game is going to be Ogre Battle 64, or the PlayStation one. I heard that they're both the same. Whichever one works better on my computer is probably what I'll end up doing. I'm not sure though. I'll make sure that that's the case. As of right now, I'm going for the 64 version. Picked by Made Me Lol, and then we got Tales of Grace's F, picked by Overhunter. Oh yeah, I can sort it, and I can sort it by overall rating, but the thing about it is there's ratings, if they're the same number, they're not going to carry weight, but there might be a game that I personally preferred more than another, but it's got the same rating as something else. So, you know, there's that. They're different games. Okay, so is the PlayStation one the same as the SNES one then? Is that what it is? Okay. Alright then, well we got our next game picked and we finished a longer game and we finished 30 hours under estimate, so that's pretty good. It took us a month to finish this game, but that's still pretty good. But stick around guys, as always, since we managed to beat a game, we are going to raid somebody, so think of the raid message that you want to send to people. Normally we try to keep the message as something related to the game that we just beat. Sword Dance, that's a good one. Alright guys, type in your sword dances, any other type of emote you want to do with it. Yeah, I could definitely sort based on the value I gave it. I was thinking more in the context of they wanted to see my preferred order of these games. Like, what was my absolute favorite? What's my least favorite? And it would at least separate those two. But yeah, that's great. I'm taking that, Travis. But go ahead and type in your sword dances, guys. Let's spam it. Let's see here. I'm gonna host. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and host Dr. Swellman. He is doing some Earthbound. Let's give him some love. Let's see if we can push him to that 75 viewer amount for today. That'd be great if we could do that. Push him towards partner. I want you guys to spam the crap out of him. I don't want him to be able to read the rest of his chat or anything like that. I just want it to be sword dances. I want everyone else in his chat to be questioning what's going on and what sword dance even means. So go ahead and spam the crap out of it, guys. Oops. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it. Have a great rest of your night and a great rest of your weekend.